Welcome to the final episode in my Beyond the Pitch series with Title IX, all about their annual Pitch Fest. This one is a wrap up of the event, and I mean, I still am trying to digest it myself. So it was just this past weekend, September 26th. The winners, or the finalists rather, were there ahead of time. They all got together the day before, and actually, I was invited to a casual hangout dinner there that was all sorts of movers and makers there, past finalists, current finalists, women in the industry, and it was so amazing. Like, I am coming off of quite the high from Roam Fest the weekend before and then Pitch Fest this past weekend. I honestly, like I said, haven't even wrapped my whole head around everything yet. For those of you who maybe are just tuning in, I've done a couple episodes prior to this talking with Lisa and Molly of Title IX, past Pitch Fest finalists who have been on the podcast before: Cassie Abel of Wild Rye, Gigi of Nara, and Tina and Maddie of Scenic. And then I had this year's finalists on. I did 2 episodes with them. It was a compilation episode with 7 of the 9 finalists. I plan on talking to the other 2 who weren't able to make it into that compilation episode, but completely understandable. It was so busy and hectic during that time to try and find any ounce of extra time was a little bit difficult for all of them, but I will be catching up with each and every one of them sometime, hopefully in the near future, after they all get a chance to kind of wind down and digest Pitch Fest themselves, because what a huge thing. And I'll start off with what the day was like. So I mentioned Thursday night, we had a nice casual hangout dinner. There was some bites and margaritas, and it was just so lovely 'cause there was plenty of people there I had met before, so I got to reconnect, plus my lovely ladies at Dovetail, Kate and Katie. It was so good to see them, plus meet so many others. From the moment I walked in, I was just lit up, on fire, ready to just have us all take over the world, like I mentioned before. It was so cool and great. And Friday morning, Pitch Fest was on bright and early, 8 a.m. I walked into the outdoor area of the Title IX headquarters, and it was just buzzing already. They had wonderful coffee there. They had swag for everybody from some amazing brands, and it was so fun from the get-go. Again, the energy was just palpable, and I couldn't wait to get the day underway. I started out by making a swag bag. Got some really fun stuff, some brands I'd seen before, some I hadn't. Evelyn Bobby was a standout brand for me in that swag table there because they had some high-waisted seamless bikini underwear there, and they were like one size basically. It was says fits most 0 to 14. So as I put that in my swag bag, I definitely was a little skeptical, but I couldn't wait to try them on. And when I did the next day, I was like, holy crap, I'm at the top of that range. I'm at a size 14 and they fit and felt good. And I didn't feel like a sausage squeezing into some underwear. So I don't know, that would just really stood out and struck me because when you get something that's kind of one size fits all, unless you're in that middle range, it can be, yeah, not great, but it was awesome, lovely. And then we had a few speakers at the beginning, and then the pitches started. All of these women did so, so, so amazing. I mean, I know the judges had a hard time picking their winners. I know because they needed extra time to do it. We were all waiting there after, and they were still going back and forth. So before we get too deep into it, I'll just remind you who this year's finalists were. We had Kate Harvey of Birdie Blue, Emily LaPlume of Saturday Swimwear, Emily Lee of Peach Surf Co., Kara and Arwen of Thicket Adventure, Chantel Assam of Lux Fit, Anna Myers of Dirty Birdie, Sam and Abby of Saturday Strides, Emma Rossi of All Over Apparel, and Mel Franzen of Tobeak. So it was those last 2 that weren't able to make it onto the compilation episode from Tobeak and All Over Apparel, but it was really great to meet those ladies. And again, all of their pitches were just so good, phenomenal. And I mean, maybe my emotions were just kind of running high still from all of the things at Roam Fest. I came back from Roam Fest Monday night after, 12, 13 hours of driving and just got straight to work all day Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I hit the road Thursday for Pitch Fest. So I really hadn't had any time to reset or think or really take in what happened at Rome and just all the amazing energy there, but I felt it went straight into Title IX, and there were so many moments at Pitch Fest that I was literally, like, choking back tears because I was just so inspired and it was so moving, and you could just feel the passion from all these women, not only the founders who were pitching that day, but the people in the audience. So it was, again, just incredible. And eventually, the judges did decide on some winners, but before we get there, I will take you through the rest of the day at Pitch Fest. We took a little break between pitches, and then there was a workout. So Title IX, every day at their headquarters, like, in their work days, have a workout at lunch. When I went and recorded with Molly and Lisa, if you've listened to that episode or go back and listen to it, you'll hear us talking about trying to wrap up so Lisa and I could make that 12 p.m. yoga class. And I did. And I sweated my ass off. But it was great. And I'm putting together the tour of the headquarters still. It's been a wild fucking month, guys. So wild. So I'm still catching up on all things. But stay tuned for a video of the tour of the headquarters. So all this to say is that even during Pitch Fest, they stuck to that 12 o'clock workout. Everyone was invited. I hit up Chantel of Lux Fit and I was like, hey, is there any chance I can try out a bra during this workout? I just felt like there was no better time to give it a try. And I also was willing to do it with just my sports bra on. And that for me was huge because I haven't worked out in public in just my sports bra ever. Like, ever. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I've been hitting the gym since after high school, and I didn't have my regular sports anymore. I regularly went to the gym, did yoga, taught yoga, all the things, and was never the girl to have the sets or even just be in a not matching set just in my sports bra. I save that for at home when it's just so hot out. And where I live now, I don't have any neighbors that can see me. So it is something I save just for myself, or honestly, it's to save laundry. That's the biggest reason I've ever really done it is like, why do I want to sweat in a shirt if I don't have to? Anyways, like I said, never in public have I worked out in a sports bra, but I wanted to show off this Lux Fit bra. So I did the HIIT workout just in my sports bra and shorts. And yeah, it was still really hard for me to not think about if anyone was looking at me, if anyone was judging me. But I just tried to tune it all out. And also because of that environment we were in, I was like, there's no way any of these women here are judging me. Sure, they might be looking at me because I happen to be in like one of the front rows. Um, so I'm sure I had some eyes on me, especially from behind, which is not where I typically want them. But again, I felt like this is the time and the place for me to do this. So I did it. Much like at Roam Fest when Boot Tan Fest put on their affinity ride called The Gift, which was a naked ride, which most people did do with bottoms on, but a lot of tatas were out and I did that ride. And I think that is honestly what led me into having more confidence and courage to work out in my sports bra during the Title IX Pitch Fest workout. The bra itself was also super comfortable. That was very helpful. I felt super supported. I didn't feel like my boobs were gonna pop out, so that was very helpful. I didn't have to adjust the whole time. I had some other issues going on that I had to dip out a couple times for. One, I went searching for my inhaler because it was a lot more humid there, which people think at sea level, a workout should be easier. I live at elevation, but I've talked before on my podcast about, like, breathing issues anyways with the humidity. It's like, I could probably use a hit of this, plus with all the travel I'd been doing in the last, week and a half, I just, like, was it was 0 to 60 for me. So I ran out real quick, didn't have it, blah, 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 working out, doing a plank on the floor, and I had felt the floor kinda, like, something pinch, but from my recent road rash, my skin there was pretty soft, so I ended up actually tearing a piece of that soft skin. So I started bleeding all over. I mean, not all over, but a good amount. So I had to run out again and go wrap my arm up. But it was a great sweaty workout, a HIIT style boot camp workout, which the whole time I was also thinking Like, oh my God, this is primarily what I used to do and teach. And it is wiping me right now. It's Monday now, and my legs were still a little bit sore from all the squats and lunges and like jump lunges and squats and things that I don't do to that volume anymore. But again, so wonderful to just have a group of supportive women in that room with you. I felt great afterwards and was excited to get the rest of the day underway. Then we had an amazing lunch, and they do such a good job through this whole event. Lisa talked about it in our episode, but she goes above and beyond filling this event with all women-owned brands. So, amazing food from fellow women-owned businesses. Great time again to just connect with other people. And then we had a few more speakers, and by 2:30, the winners were announced. So it felt like literally a whole day had happened. It didn't feel like it had just been 8 to 2. I mean, it was so much goodness throughout the day. So the winners of this year's Title IX Pitch Fest were Toe Beak, Saturday Strides, Lux Fit, and Saturday Swimwear. Again, the judges had a hard time, and I'm sure that if they could pick them all, they would. In our finalist episode for this year, a lot of them had already talked about how much Pitch Fest had done for them in just that short time leading up to Pitch Fest. So they know that this is not over for them just because they didn't win this year. There's so much more goodness to come from this event and these connections and this network, and I'm so excited to see every single one of these 9 brands continue to grow and thrive and see what happens for them next. Sure, the winners may have that PO locked in, that purchase order from Title IX locked in, but everyone will grow from this experience and the connections, and it was so moving and just awesome and wonderful and inspiring. I couldn't wait to get home to keep this momentum going. And I'm still catching up, like I said, on all the things. I've got lots of posts and things to do, but I am still just reeling off of it. And again, cannot wait to continue the momentum into my next events and just the connections alone that I made with the women who were a part of Pitch Fest this year and the other women that I met. There's so many great connections that I just want to figure out how to get more people involved in this kind of collaboration and how I can spread energy like this into my community. There is just so much to be said about the collaboration over competition. We've been saying that for a long time now, and it is just proven to me time and time again. The more I do events like this, the more I'm around these women and fellow women-owned brands or owners who feel the same. I just can't help but continuing to stress that that is the right move. That's the way to go. That's what we have to do is support each other. So while Pitch Fest isn't customer facing right now and it is more kind of industry thing, I know they are trying to figure out how to get more of the community involved. So keep paying attention, keep following along. But most of all, like, we really need to support these women-owned and women-led brands individually through Title IX, however it is that you want to support them. I will link all of the finalists in this episode in Title IX, so you can at least go learn a little bit more about them if you haven't listened to those compilation episodes yet. But there's so many more out there that we just gotta support each other. And also, Women Led Wednesday will be coming up here in the next couple months, right before the holidays that Cassie Abel of Wild Rice started. So that's another great resource. I mean, that website's up year round, so you can go to womenledwednesday.com and look at their directory and see what other companies that you can help support. I just don't know if I really can completely convey what I feel from Pitch Fest and Roam Fest and all the things that have been happening lately. Hopefully you can feel it a little bit through this episode and through following my other posts like on Instagram and things like that, trying to get some videos up on YouTube as well. I did some interviewing, quick little pop-up questions. I just asked people what brought them to Pitch Fest and one thing they took away from the day. So that was really fun to get to talk to some new people too. But stay tuned for all of that and let me know if you have any questions and if there's anything that I can answer for you, or I don't know if you just need some support too. Speaking of that, I am definitely going to plug my women's co-working community called Accountability Babes. So it stemmed from wanting to create a in-person place in Truckee where I could gather with other women and have people's brains to pick, or just like not feel alone in all of the solopreneur type stuff or remote worker things, and just have other people around me. Like I was in an office, but you still have full autonomy, right? We always want the best of both worlds, I know. But in coming up with this idea of creating this space in person, I couldn't help but also create it virtually because I couldn't just leave out this community that I'm trying to build online. So I made a Slack channel. If anyone out there is a fan of Slack, I know some people are like, that's the last thing they want is another channel like that to be involved in. But if that is your thing, then the link is also in the show notes. I've got a landing page for it as well. It's kind of a little bit of a hard word to spell, so just look in the show notes. But yeah, anyone is open to join that. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur or solopreneur. You can just be a remote worker or something where you need that little extra support. Or maybe you don't even have a business yet, or you're not working remote, but it's something maybe you're thinking of, but you just want to connect with some other women on that side hustle, or you just want some accountability. That channel is there for you. Maybe one day we'll have those in person accountability babes in other locations. I'm not getting too far ahead of myself right now, but if you are in the Truckee area, I've been doing it every other Tuesday. When we have those in person dates, it can be a good day to hop on that Slack channel too, and knowing that some of us are just together working. And again, Slack may not be your thing if you already use it a lot for work, so you really don't know how you feel about adding something else to it. I'm just going to encourage that you do, because it might take a little bit of that work stress out of it. You have one channel on Slack that is that supportive community where you can be yourself, talk to other women, and literally about anything. You just got to vent. We have a space for you. Okay. So go check that out. And you guys, like I said, I just am so excited and riding high on some momentum right now. And that's just where I have to leave you. I mean, I got a winter series coming up soon. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to start posting about that and getting things out there. This community that we're creating here at Tearing It Up, I don't want it to just be in Truckee and Tahoe. I mean, I started out as a podcast, right? So it is out there for anyone anywhere. So I'm trying really hard to find a good mix of in-person events and how I can also get that out of my like direct community. So I have streamed live events before, like my Ladies Avalanche Awareness Night. I'll be doing that again. So I am always trying to find a way to connect my community virtually as well as in person. So if you're not in Truckee, Tahoe, that doesn't mean there's not a place for you here in the Tearing It Up, let's call it collective. um, so the best thing to do is just keep following along and figure out how you might be able to be involved in some of these events in the near future. But for sure, check out these amazing women-owned brands that were part of Pitchfest this year in Title IX themselves. And let's go out and continue to root each other on, because we as women need each other. Thank you all. We'll talk to you Thursday.